Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Friends on the Other Bus. There's myself and my lovely friend Melissa here. We haven't done a podcast for a while, and this is something a little bit different. And I know quite a few people have been asking about this. So, Melissa, what are we talking about today?
So today we're talking about the Schumann resonance and the effect that it's having on all of us.
Yeah. And people are
But,
not aware that it's having a massive effect on
well,
them, are they?
no, I mean, when I started on TikTok last year, I knew that a lot of people will be struggling with what they believe is their mental health or what they believe is their physical health, back and forth to doctors, perhaps put on different medications and stuff like that. And nothing's actually helping them because we are being affected by the Schumann resonance. The Schumann resonance is the Earth's electromagnetic field. So around us is an electromagnetic field, and everything is tapped into that. And since around June 2023, something changed in the Schumann resonance. We started getting a lot more light in, which does all sorts to our physical and mental bodies. Some call it the Earth's heartbeat.
I've heard it as the Earth's heartbeat. Do you know what I think changed it? I think it was everybody's spiritual awakenings. There was a massive influx in 23.
Huge, huge, and it almost looked like DNA
Yeah.
strands in the Schumann resonance. For me personally, I had no idea about any of this. I mean, it's not something you would look into, but as I evolved on my spiritual awakening and I started, because we're rising and dipping, aren't we? There's no consistency
Yeah.
really to how any of us are feeling, and it's like, for example, yesterday I was up and dancing at 5 a.m. By 10 o'clock, I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
So
I would say the last 2 weeks for me has been absolutely bonkers. Now it picks up everything, the vibrations of the earth, solar flares, the blackouts, the energy changes. It has, and when you see it, if anybody's never seen the Schumann, it's just like it's a bit like a sound bar, isn't it? The best way to describe it
yeah,
is
it's
similar to
like
a
that.
sound. If you,
I suppose when you're in labor, the contraction machine. That's
yeah,
basically what
yeah,
is happening. Mother Earth is contracting. It's
yeah.
usually blue, and that's homeostasis. So if it's blue, it should technically be calm.
Okay.
When you see the white coming in, that is fresh new energy from our sun coming
And we
in.
get a lot of. I've seen a lot of the whites on them.
Yes. Well, last year when I went on and started, talking about this, or when I started talking about this, I didn't really have much of an idea what it was. I just noticed that I was feeling the same as a lot of people. So I started really
Hmm.
studying the Schumann resonance, and I knew last year that we were going to start seeing a lot more things like aurora borealis, northern lights, and
Yes.
stuff like that, and see it in places that you would never normally see it. Um, but the effects that it has on us we're all having the same symptoms at the exact same time. I don't
We
know about
are, and I think that yeah, massively. But I speak to people all the time that'll say to me, "Oh, I felt a bit weird yesterday," and I'll say, "What is it?" And they'll tell me the symptoms, and I'll go, "Right, okay." And how do you feel today? And they'll go, "Oh, absolutely fine." So I check the Schumann, and I go, "Oh, crikey, that's why." And then, or sometimes if I'm feeling a little bit out of kilt, and I'm sure you do the same, Melissa,
Mhm.
and I check it, and I go, "Oh my God, buckle up, guys, because we're in for a rocky one today." And you
Yes.
just know how the day's going to pan out, and it really has that effect.
Mhm.
Um, well, we'll discuss in a minute, but the sensations. So, can I just quickly ask, what was it? How did you come across it? Because you've made it part of your social networking.
It really
It's
is,
your
yes.
thing.
How did I come across it? I never thought I would be on TikTok. I've said that in a lot of my videos. I'm 46 this year. I never thought I would be on TikTok, but when spirit calls, spirit calls. And I was really
Yeah.
drawn to this human resonance because I couldn't understand what was happening to me. I'd gone through my awakening. I'd gone through a large portion of my healing. I was getting back up, ready to go into the world. And I was like this, dipping and rising, dipping and rising, dipping and rising. And then one day I think I was on TikTok and I came across someone and it all made sense. And then daily she would do updates and I'm like, I already know this. I already know this. And I think
Yeah.
this lady's from America. Uh, and I thought, this is what's going on. this is what's, and we can't, um, I mean, when it hits, when it spikes, we're going to spike as well. Uh,
Yeah.
so I thought, right, I think I need to start telling other people, you're not losing your mind. You're not losing your mind. And there's nothing physically wrong with you. I mean, always get yourself checked first. Always go to
Yeah,
the
of
doctor
course.
to
We're
get
not
to rule
doctors.
out
Yeah.
anything. But you will
Yeah.
find if you start following people that are talking about the Schumann resonance that you are dipping and rising with them. So, like, I intuitively tap into the Schumann resonance. I kind of know what symptoms, and they're very, very specific symptoms. I mean, for example,
Yeah.
yesterday, I don't know if you had the buzzing around you, because it's almost like when this light comes in, because we've
Yeah.
got an energetic body as well. And what it does is
Yeah.
when the light comes in, is it's almost like a snow globe effect. It shakes up all of your dense kind of trauma and stuff like that. And that's where you start to purge, go down like, I
Mm.
know there'll be like a lot of self-sabotage, a lot of intrusive thoughts, and that's where you can go for your mental health. But physically, you can feel the frequency rising around you, especially the buzzing in the soles of your feet. But it can be specific things like pain from your
Yes.
shoulder blades, pain in your right hip, bloated, just so many random things. But I am very
Feeling
specific.
sick, being tired,
Oh,
headaches, poorly eyes, jaw
vertigo,
pain, everything. Vertigo. So
motion
I need to just
sickness.
quickly ask you something. This is
Hmm.
this is really interesting. So yesterday's energy of the earth. Before I tell you what happened to me, can you tell me how that played out yesterday?
So yesterday, I felt great around 5 o'clock in the morning. It's the waking between 3 and 5 as well. That's very so. But then around 10, 11 o'clock, it went really dark, really dense, really heavy. The energy did, and
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the frequency normally sits around 7.86, but the frequency of Mother Earth is sitting at 8.06. So the buzzing around you, a lot of us struggled. I know personally I struggled. I was in a salt bath. I had crystals on. I had incense burning. I really struggled. So if you had an interesting day yesterday, that will
Yeah.
definitely be
I
why.
had a very interesting day yesterday. And I'll tell you what happened. This is why I know I didn't check on purpose, but I knew it must have been, there was something off. I got up in the morning quite early. I couldn't sleep at all yesterday. I
Yeah,
kept waking
yeah,
up all the time. Very much like you. And it's been like that for the last 2 weeks for me. I'm waking
yeah.
up early hours, probably 3 or 4 times, and that's not like me. But I'd got up and I could only describe it as my whole body felt locked, as if
Hmm.
I couldn't, as if everything just felt as if it was completely rigid and tight, as if all my
Yeah.
my sockets had fused together. And I've had
Mhm.
this on and off for years, and I there's just something in this. Anyway, so me and my husband went out. We found open grass. We took our shoes and socks off. We laid down. Now, I'd already, yesterday morning, so I know it had affected my husband, I'd already, at 6 o'clock in the morning, reset his nervous system, gave him healing, and unblocked his chakras. This was at 6 o'clock while
Hmm.
he was going back to sleep, because even he was awake. Anyway, we just laid on the grass for ages. And then that was it. And he just says to me, something's just lifted. And he's never been
Yeah.
into this. He just said, something's lifted. He said, it's like you've created a charge, and I'm charging from your energy. And we just laid there on the grass. We'd had an ice cream, and there was people
Mhm.
wandering all around us. And that was it. I could have done cartwheels after that.
Yeah.
Everything fell, everything dropped.
Yeah, I
Like
felt like
our
yesterday.
moods completely changed. Grounding's a big thing.
Oh, definitely. Grounding's a big thing. And sometimes it's really quite difficult to ground it out. Epsom salt baths. Make sure you stay hydrated. I use Celtic sea salt in my water. I mean, there's obviously other energies that have been going around as well. So it's deciphering which is the
Yeah.
human, which is kind of darker, denser energies. I've always said I believe we're in the middle of like a huge spiritual
We are.
awakening. So yesterday was a strange one because I was very, very lifted in the morning and then it came in heavy. But it came in that heavy that it was just like, and then it kind of eased off. But if you've obviously done all the stuff you're supposed to, and
Yeah.
you know how to do it, and I bet it was quite difficult to actually shift
Yeah.
that. And I feel like
Yeah.
2025 is going to amp up. It's because the frequency is going to continue to rise, which is what it's meant to be doing. And the frequency of Mother
Yeah.
Earth is rising. As it's rising, it's all this light that's coming into the planet. it's shining on the dark. It's shining on the dark on the planet, and it's shining on the dark within us. Um, and I always say it's
Do you
like,
think? Go on, you're all
just,
right. Sorry.
oh, I totally forgot. My neurospicy brain went that way and that way, and I forgot.
That's me. Do you
I'm like,
think?
oh.
Do you think that with? Do you think with the fact that light density beings, low density beings, do you think that because there are more people that are becoming light workers, and that the low density is becoming heavier because they can no longer feed off us that we're here because we're all here now?
Absolutely.
Do you think that that's having an effect on the Schumann? Because I know solar flares do, and we see
Well,
a lot of
yes,
solar
a
flares
collective
that I don't think people are
awakening.
aware of them.
Collective awakening, because we are part of the Earth's electromagnetic field. So as we wake up and come into our light bodies, we
Yeah.
will have some, we will activate parts of that graph as well. But with the lower, denser beings, I always say it as like, I perceive energy as like the lower, denser energy. I perceive it as like tar, almost tar like. So we've got these blocks
Yes.
of dense energy. And as light workers, when that, when things come up to be purged out, when trauma stuff, when we know to purge that out, and I believe it's not as easy for people that don't know. So instead of purging that out, what they're doing is it's hitting them. This trauma is coming up, and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to think about that." They're burying it back down, and then they're adding more and more and more kind of tar-like energy to it. And I think that's why
Yeah.
there's such a disconnect between
Yeah.
the awake
The thing is,
and not awake.
they've got to deal with the shadow work's got to be dealt with, because
Oh,
otherwise you're never
absolutely.
going to get anywhere. You have to deal with that. I mean, that's
Mhm.
another thing in itself. But I think for me personally, I can't even go into supermarkets,
Right.
big busy places, because I pick up on the energy. Because obviously I'm an empath and a healer,
Mhm.
as obviously you are, because you're picking up on
Mhm.
that. And anybody that can pick up on that has got that clear empathy about them. Um, but I think that the more I come across in my line of work, I come across more people who are just grasping and just like, oh my God, that's why I feel like that when I go to busy places. That's why I've stopped doing crowds. Because
Mhm.
they know that the energy is completely sucking them rather than aiding them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that more people now, I come across more people now that are like, oh, I don't know what's up with me. I've not felt very well today. And I go, oh, it's the Earth's energy. And they'll go, what do you mean? And I'll go, the Earth's
Mhm.
energy. Do you feel da 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 da? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, you need to look the Schumann. And even now, people don't know what it is. And I'm like, how can you not? We live blinkered because we are so spiritual, but there's still now where we are navigating people into the direction of the Schumann and why it's having the impact on them. I mean, not only are we dealing with that dark light skies, whatever, that's
Yeah,
another
yeah,
story in itself.
yeah, yeah.
It's having a massive impact, and the minute that you know that they are there, it's a game changer because you know how to deal with them. Do you
Well,
not think now your bubble's a nice place to be?
oh, it's amazing. And I know how to kind of protect it. I know how to work
Yeah,
with the denser energies. And I mean, it floors me sometimes. I go out and if you leave yourself wide open, again, that tar-like energy, you walk down the street, you walk past and you're picking up their energy, and if you're not cleansing yourself.
yeah,
So, and I felt really empowered to come on, and because I don't want people to suffer, and there's a lot of
yeah,
suffering going on and struggling going on, and people think they're losing their mind, they've got all this trauma coming
yeah,
up, why is this happening to me? And I have real empathy for anyone that's in that situation, and that's why I went on to TikTok, to maybe shine a little bit of light into it. Could be something else. There's more going on than what you can perceive right now, and
yeah.
maybe open yourself up to. I've had people say to me, I would never have believed this a year ago. I would never have believed it, but I'm now experiencing this myself. And the symptoms can be so intense. I mean, for me, my vision, I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm seeing like floaters, and I see
Yeah.
sparkles.
Yeah.
Like, um, and just the
I
buzzing is
get
kind of
blurry
gone.
eyes. I can't see properly.
And yeah,
Yeah.
what's happening is when this light comes in, it's hitting our Merkaba, our light bodies, and it's taking up all this dense energy, and we're purging, but it's also bringing us online, which is why we're feeling more, like our third eye's opening. So that
Yeah.
eye's opening, which is making the rest of your vision not so great. So we're opening up our chakras. we're evolving into new beings. We are evolving into our,
We are
yeah, and
three,
which is
five D.
all of our gifts, our clairaudience, our, you know, all of our clairs are going to come online, and you'll, you know, the people will find that
Yeah.
things are happening, and but they knew it was going to happen. Is this a coincidence? What is going on with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can really feel the
I have
disconnect. Oh,
seen, yeah, I have seen people I never, if you just says to me in 2020, because that's when most people woke up because
yeah,
it was the start of
2020 was,
obviously being locked
yeah,
down,
a
which
catalyst for an awakening.
it
Yeah,
was. It was. It was because they locked us up, but actually it encourages us to seek knowledge further afield, which is another story in
yeah.
itself. Anyway, but I can say if I'd have said to you in 2020, oh my God, I felt so alone. I feel so privileged now in 2025 to be part of something so massive and to continue, because I think 26 is a good one that's coming as
Hmm.
well. So I feel when I look back at how I was in 2020, and I'm actually proud of myself, and I'm sure you are of yourself.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
proud of for
definitely.
believing in everything that I could see that was happening, and to see how far we've come. And clearly, I mean, I'm a star seed. I'm pretty sure you are. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do what you're doing. And star seeds is another one that I am going to be doing with a lovely friend of mine who is a seven dimensional Pleiadian. I'm Pleiadian, and it is we're here for a purpose. We are here
Oh,
for a
absolutely. Yeah.
reason in humanity. Believe it or not, we generally are here, and this is what we need to work out. So we are speakers, we are free speakers, and
Hmm.
that's what we're here for. So, but the energy is you're raising awareness with regards to the Earth's energy.
Hmm.
I raise awareness spiritually. I've never
Hmm.
healed so many people in my life. My healing's
Yes,
bonkers.
and there's so
People are
much more
craving for
coming.
it.
Yeah, coming in. People are genuinely suffering and struggling. In 2020, I mean, I've been quite honest about, you know, how I got on my journey, and I truly believe it's always on the back end of trauma. You know, people,
Yeah,
I don't think would want to go down this route because, as you said earlier on, there's the shadow work. The dark
yeah,
night of the soul is brutal, but on the other side, 2025 now,
yeah,
like yourself, I'm so proud of myself for sticking with what I believed in. It was blind faith at the beginning, and then it just
yeah,
became undeniable. It became undeniable to the point where I stepped up and I thought, I need to get my message out there. And I very much talk about shadow work, and I actually shared about my journey the other day. And because I believe that people need to talk without shame or judgment, or
yeah,
we've all got
yeah,
something. It's just, and this is where the split is happening, because people like you and I can come together, and this is just so easy. This is
yeah.
who we've become. Um, and then there's other people that are just suffering, you know, carrying their,
We need we need to do a podcast on shadow work, because I
oh,
don't think people
that
realize
alone, yes.
how, honestly, I do. Mine was horrific. I was a
Me too.
teenager. It was horrific, and I think that people do not realize how horrific it is. Brutal is the word. It is
Oh, it's
just
absolutely,
absolutely.
it's physically painful. It's, you feel pain and emotions like you've
Oh my
never
God.
felt. And I thought I sat with it for a little bit longer than I probably should have. I think I was maybe just a bit uneducated about it at the time. But as you know, spirit will bring stuff into your life when you need it the
Yeah.
most. And I was the last
Yeah.
person in the world that would have believed in any of this. Um,
Do you know what, Michelle? Do you know what, Melissa? Sometimes spirit will bring it in when you need it the most, when you are at your lowest.
oh,
And
it's
I'm a
always
big
when you're
believer of
broken.
reaction.
Hmm.
Reaction is the key. How you react, that it will keep coming. And we've had this conversation millions of times on my lives. Spirit will bring it to you, and it'll throw it in front of your path, and you go, oh my God, I've got to deal with that again. And then you step over it, and then it comes back again. So how
Hmm.
you react depicts whether or not it's coming back down the chain. It's happening.
Yeah,
So if you stand there, look at it and go, right, I'm just going to have to sort this out now, it's never coming back when you've dealt with it. It's never coming
exactly,
back. But shadow
exactly.
work is a whole
And you have to
podcast in
feel to
itself,
heal.
a whole podcast.
Oh, for sure. And
Yeah,
it's, as I've said in my videos, sometimes it feels like a breakdown. It feels like, well, it is a breakdown. It's a breakdown of all of your belief
yeah,
systems, but it's a breakthrough.
yeah,
It is a
yeah.
breakthrough. And I think that's where I can shine a light
It
and say,
is.
I know how awful it is right now, but I promise you, on
Yeah.
the other side of this, it's really quite beautiful.
Oh, it is. But going back to the Schumann's having the same effect on people. So it's
Oh,
similar to shadow work, because when the Schumann is not, when the Schumann is down, it's affecting our earth bodies in a
Absolutely.
way that's
So
absolutely incredible.
all of this all of this light that was coming into the planet was predicted. I said that last year when I came on. So that is going to force people into the dark night of the soul, because these things, the
Yeah.
things that you feel are going to be sitting up so high that you can't ignore it. And if you don't have the knowledge I mean, I didn't have the knowledge until few years ago, it's really going to take its toll. So a lot of people are going to be kind of pushed into shadow work. Uh,
Yeah.
2025 is the year of completion, so it'll probably be relationships ending, friendships ending. A lot of us are in isolation. We just can't be around people. So,
Yeah.
and it is, and that's why I'm glad that we're doing this, because you can get the app, you can get the Schumann Resonance app, and once you learn to read it. So blue is homeostasis, which is pretty calm.
Which
The white
means,
is
all right.
calm. Homeostasis is calm. The white is fresh energy. That means the sun is giving us energies. And when it's green, like that kind of stitching pattern. So the green means integration. So we get all this light come in, all this plasma come in, and we're having to integrate it into our energetic field. Depending on what you've got stored in that energetic field is how you're going to feel. Now, when there's red, that means that you're purging. So you could be physically sick, you could be sweating, you could be mentally purging, that's where the thoughts of, I did this when
Yeah.
I was, and it's just coming up, and you kind of get caught in that thought loop.
Mm.
But when you know that, wait a minute, you're not the only one. There's millions of us all over the
Yeah.
world. That, I mean, I've got people that I speak to from Canada, America, all over the world, and it's the exact same time. And I think when people know that this isn't you, this is all of us, you've got light
Yeah.
in you somewhere that's desperate to come out, and that's why you're struggling so much. And if people
Yeah.
tap into
I
that, or
think, yeah. I think the worst days are the ones where, and I do get these, because I'm an early bird. I get up and go, and I'm constantly on the go. And I am a self-confessed workaholic. I completely admit that to everybody that knows me knows I'm a workaholic. But I get days where I can't see properly. I have a headache. I want to be sick. Everything
Mhm.
hurts, and I just want to lie under a cover and see the
And
world
not
on a lens like that.
just
And then
not
all of a
function.
sudden, 6 hours later, it's like bing, and you're like, what the hell has happened? Something's
Well,
just
it's like
changed.
you've been
So for me,
slapped
as you,
with a sledgehammer round the back.
oh,
hmm
completely. But I try my hardest. I obviously incense. I clear my chakras. I realign everything. My nervous system, meditation, grounding, eating healthy, drinking plenty of water, lay flat on the ground. I'll hug a tree if I have to. I'll
Yeah.
realign my chakras by leaning against an old tree. So and obviously with your Epsom salts and things, but I think that the minute that we identify, and crystals, that we can change that and we can protect ourselves, that can make
Mhm.
that has a massive difference. So it doesn't affect me as much. The moon alone sends me completely doolally.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm
That's
sure that we're
just
having a full moon every other
bonkers.
week. I'm
We
like,
are. I've never known so many full moons. Do you know something? I'll tell you something that's really weird. Do you know what happens when there's a full moon? I get tooth pain at the front there and my knees hurt. What the hell's that all about? Of all the
well,
symptoms, they're the two symptoms I get.
and you,
I cry a lot,
oh yeah, yeah, I never
but
really
that and
know
the
it's a full
knees, it's
moon
weird.
until breakdown mode, and I'm like, it's a full moon. I'm checking the Schumann. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
what else is going on? And once you tap into these, and it does
You
massively,
identify
massively.
them. Yeah.
The
I
tooth pain.
know that I know if I'm crying a lot, I know that if I'm crying a lot, I'll go, oh God, we must be due a moon. There's a moon, there's a super moon, there's something coming. I know it about 4 days before I start.
Do you not
It's
feel like there's
weird.
been so many celestial events this year?
Yeah,
So
there has been for
many.
the last 2 years.
And I just kind of clocked onto that this year, and I'm like, is this always been the case, or did I just not notice before? I just,
No, do you know what? I am a moon obsessed. I've got an album in my phone that says moon on it. That's how I've always been obsessed with the moon, literally. And I'd know. I just don't think we've had that many. I just think it's been bonkers.
and all these aurora borealis. I mean, it's been constant.
Well,
And I said that last year, you're going to see more and more and more of this. And it does, it's bringing everyone online. But for those that are, and I think I said this in my video yesterday, for those that are in the breakdown period, and there will be, it's you're ready for a breakthrough. Um, I do know that people will be losing anything that's in your life that's not meant for you. They will be stripped away this year. And it kind of
yeah,
started last year. You would have seen a lot of relationships and stuff break down. And that's because, from my beliefs, it's we've got to raise our vibration. So Mother Earth is raising her vibration, and we're
yeah,
not quite there yet. So which is where we've got to go through all like this purging, this dark night, all this, and just to match the vibration. So it's about
yeah,
us putting the work into ourselves to raise our own frequency to
yeah,
vibe with Mother Earth.
yeah.
Um,
You're
but
right there. I'll tell you what I do. When I teach energy healing, I teach all about energy transfer, how easy it is to transfer energy from one person to another, even from like relationships. If you enter into a relationship with somebody who had a maybe a troublesome ex-partner, you can connect to that person's energy through the partner, through your new partner.
mhm,
Energy transfer is so real. But something that people have got to be aware of is that there are so many certain sounds that we can change to raise our frequency. I'm a big believer that there is energy harvesting, and I think this is why I don't watch the news anymore.
oh,
Don't
there
watch the news, and
absolutely is,
I don't
100%.
engage in anything that I think is low density, low energy, no
Mhm,
non-toxic traits and behavior, which is why I always stay in my lane on my social medias. And I say this all the time. It's my thing. Stay in your lane. Don't
yeah.
get involved in all the drama, because I'm not allowing anybody to put me in the energy frame mind that I don't want to be in, because my I always say, if it's not happening in my bubble, it's not happening in the world.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
whatever's going on in the world, in the news, it's not happening in my bubble, because I'm quite happy with my bubble, and my bubble's a nice place to be. It's happy, it's
Mhm,
calm, and whatever. But when we teach healing, going back to that, I teach them all about the hertz sounds, the gamma waves, the delta waves, the theta waves, all about reprogramming the brain, slowing the brain
mhm,
down, all
mhm,
about regenerating cells, healing yourself. This
mhm.
changes your energy.
Creating
It
new
has a
neurons.
massive impact.
Yeah, yeah.
Bonkers.
So
Bonkers.
when I first went through my dark night of the soul, I started doing sleep hypnosis. And
Okay.
that, so I would find something on YouTube or something like that, and I would just play it, and it would play all night, and it restructures your subconscious. And at first, it just felt so strange to me. I was like, oh, I don't know if this is for me. And then I remember a few months later thinking, this has actually worked.
Yeah.
This has actually worked. All this, self-healing, and as you said, all these um, going into hurts and stuff like that. It's amazing the benefits that these
Yeah.
things can do for you. It's just that there's no knowledge out there. You have to go looking for it. All of this stuff is very much, well, they class it
Yeah.
as woo-woo, don't they? And it really, and I'm proof that it works. It absolutely
Yeah.
works. I don't fully understand it all yet, but every day's a
Well,
school
we
day.
are energy. We're energy. We are energy. We are a
Mhm,
human. We are just this. I don't want to call ourselves hologram, but we are just energy, which is why we feel the vibrations. My
mhm,
body vibrates. I get like internal vibrations when I go into certain places. I go off key, exactly the same as you. But we are just vibrations, so we can change the vibration of something by adding another frequency to it and stabilizing it, and that's all it is. We can rewire the brain. I'm a big believer that people don't realize how they can heal themselves. Otherwise,
yeah.
we wouldn't be able to heal after we've cut ourselves. The body regenerates every
Mhm,
7 years. Your bones can regenerate. Your certain organs can regenerate. You can regrow kidneys. You can
mhm,
regrow appendix. People don't realize
mhm,
that your hair grows and you lose it every 7 years. It's nuts. But the minute people realize that, for me, that's how I live every day. And I go, take it away, take the pain away. It's like when the energy of the earth's bonkers. I live in a textbook, a perfect example of how I am navigating away from the tar constantly my daily life, which is why we
mhm.
become so structured and we live in a bubble, and we
Yeah.
don't go near other people because we
Mhm,
know what that's going to do to us.
mhm. Well, because your energy is sacred. I mean, it's a currency, isn't it? It's so sacred,
Yeah,
and the work that we put
yeah,
into to stabilizing it, especially right now when we've stabilized ourselves, then we'll get a blast from the Schumann, and it's like you've been just
yeah,
totally fried, and then it's um, and that's why a lot of us are in isolation because you're feeling the vibe more of other people. You're like, this isn't for me. Who am I? Because we're changing on a cellular
Yeah.
level. So this is also it's upgrading your DNA from a carbon based to a crystalline based. All of these. So internally, on a cellular basis, we are changing. Like our energetic field is changing.
Yeah.
We're evolving into new beings, which
Well,
is
a couple of
hard
weeks
work.
ago, yeah, it is. A couple of weeks ago, I know I've told you this, but I'm going to talk about it again for the purpose of the chat. Um, there was a Monday a few weeks ago, and I can't remember whether was it a full moon or a super moon or something, wasn't it?
I
Or
think it
the
was a
Schumann had
super
spiked,
moon. Yeah,
something like that. My body was earthbound. My head was in another realm somewhere.
like
I felt as if I
yeah.
had been completely detached from my head, from my body, and it was the most horrific I've ever felt. I'd never experienced anything like it. I
Would
felt
that
as
be
if
around
I had
Easter
been.
weekend?
It was
Would that,
Easter weekend. I felt as if
yeah.
I'd been hit by a bus,
Mhm.
and then I woke up the following day. I went to bed and I said to my husband, I absolutely feel like I've had the crap kicked out of me. I
Yeah,
can't explain it. Woke up the next day, not a pain.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a very, very, very tough weekend. That whole weekend was just not right energetically. There was a lot coming from the Schumann. I think there was perhaps other forces at play. Everything is energy, frequency, and vibration because it was a strange one, and it can
Yeah,
actually make you feel like you are off your head on something. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
You're
yeah,
just like
yeah,
it's such a strange feeling, and I know a lot of us felt exactly the same way. Um, that weekend. That weekend was a particularly rough one.
yeah, yeah. It's horrendous. I'll tell you something. There was about 2 Christmases ago. There was a Christmas one about 2 years ago where it was as if it was Christmas Eve and then it was Boxing Day. It was as if everybody said the same. It was as if it was like nobody had any emotions. It was a nothingness Christmas. I can't. Everybody I spoke to was like, I said, "Is it just me or did Christmas
Was
go
that?
like that?" And it just felt like nothingness. And everyone's going, "Oh my God!" It was about 2 years ago.
Yeah, I feel like nothing's really felt normal for anyone since December last year. I mean, it's not felt normal for a good few years, but it really picked up December last year. A lot of us got sick. We had like this respiratory thing and stuff like that. And it's just been very strange. They've been the most intense and difficult energies to navigate. Um,
Yeah,
all of December, January, February, March, April. May's not been so bad. I think we've purged out quite a lot. But if people have struggled, especially since December, that's absolutely what's going on with them. If they've been to the
yeah,
doctors, if they've been, and you can just see it now. You go down the street, like I live in a small town. I'll go down the street and I just look at people. Obviously, I'm intuitively tapped in and I can feel it. And I just say it. I feel weird today. My head's buzzing. And the people are like, I actually feel like that too. They don't quite, well, how would you understand what's going on with you if you are not really into this? You would definitely think I'm really ill. There's something really wrong with
yeah,
me.
yeah,
Neurologically, whether I'm neurologically spicy, but there's something
yeah.
neurologically wrong with me, or I'm losing my mind.
You
That's
know it's
that's
not normal behaviour, don't you? You know it's not normal. Do you know something? If I go back to 2020 and I talk about the Great Awakening, because that really was like the pinnacle. And this is, I think, when a lot of people started to notice energy, because what they were doing is they were working from home, a lot of people. And for some people, it was a good place to be, and some people, it wasn't a very good place to be. And I think that was the moment for me where I realised I had nothing in common with loads of people. It was the moment I sat there and really kind of like self evaluated myself and thought, oh my God, you bring nothing to the table. You agitate me when I'm in your company. And I just cut everybody out. I literally cut everybody out.
and for me in 2020, my marriage ended. Everything ended. It was so awful. I don't see it like that now. I see it
No,
as,
it was
the
meant to
universe
be.
will keep trying to wake you up, and you will get the same lesson, just in a different person, but it'll be the same lesson over and over again, and then it'll be just bam, and it's a get up or give up, which usually is the
Yeah,
case. But for me, yes, 2020 was huge. A lot of people woke up then, and we all
yeah.
disconnected, and somehow went. I mean, for me, went down this route. which is one
I
I feel
think there was a,
truly blessed for now.
yeah, I think there was a lot of rabbit holes in 2020 that I don't want to ever go down again, because obviously there was the fear of the unknown, but now nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing, I believe what I believe, and I don't believe what I don't believe anymore. But I think for me, 2020 was very much that it was a bit of a catalyst of change for me, most definitely
Hmm.
with regards to the energy. And that's when I
Hmm.
started to notice energy in myself, because I was grounding. I was driving to Bradford every day to teach, chaotic, and then coming back and working online, chaotic, doing what I do. But I actually got time to sit in the garden and meditate more, and that's
Hmm.
when I started to notice the frequencies change a lot more. And I noticed it. I just remember thinking, Christ, I'm not the same person. I don't know how I can ever go back to that life again. And I got made redundant, and I was like, yes, I loved my job, but
Hmm.
it was like, yes, the universe knew that I wasn't supposed to be there. Amazing. The same as with you. Look at how far you've come recently.
Oh, do you know what? This whole awakening and it's completely changed me. I am a totally different person, and like a person that I like. I opened up my heart, and I come from the most authentic, compassionate place. And as awful as an awakening is in the dark night of the soul, it's so beautiful. I never, being proud of myself was the strangest feeling. It was the
Yeah.
strangest feeling to be, and I'm now like, I am proud of myself. I'm proud of us because taking on this role,
Yeah.
um, talking about these things, and you know how a lot of people can perceive it, and it's like we've got to get our message out there because
Yeah.
humanity needs to know things are
We're
changing, whether
speakers.
we
We're
like it or not.
speakers. Yeah.
So
It's
just maybe
happening.
open yourself up a little bit to there being something more. This isn't a you problem. This is a universal.
Yeah, yeah. And if anybody's watching this and has never heard of the Schumann, or doesn't even know what the hell we are talking about, please just take a moment, and I just want you to Google, even if you find a Facebook page, just Google and start to connect the dots, because this is going to be a game changer. And then you can navigate the crap that comes along with the Schumann and how it's going to affect you, and you can do all the things that me and Mel have told you to do. It's a game changer. It will completely and utterly change your perspective on life and your energy. The
Oh,
minute you
absolutely.
realise frequencies change. Why do you think church bells are no longer here? Because they change the
Exactly.
frequency.
All the
You
bells, yeah.
know?
Yeah, the healing that comes from bells,
Yeah.
definitely.
Tuning forks have an
Hmm.
impact. All the hurt sounds. Like I say, it all has a massive impact on our. I have so much healing done. I go to so many somatic healing practices, sound baths, bonkers. Do it. I
Hmm.
recommend it highly.
Yeah, and I think when people open themselves up to, it's not you, that you're not, this isn't you. There's more at
Yeah.
play here. Once they
Yeah.
remove themselves from the loop of what is going on, why do I feel like this, and realize it's not just you. That in itself is a catalyst for healing, because
Yeah.
then people can, well, don't go off and do their own research, and everyone must do their own research. We can give them bits here and there, and you'll perceive
Yeah.
things your own way. Everyone will go on their healing journey differently, but I think especially right now, people need to know how big this is and how much of an
Yeah.
impact these solar flares and energetic shifts are having on us. I see it as like, like a big speaker putting out the freak, that
Yeah.
kind of, that's how I perceive it, like a big speaker, and we're getting all this
Yeah.
frequency thrown at us, and we're like,
Yeah.
what's it going to hit? What's it going to hit? And so if there's stuff coming up, or if you feel like, for those that are going to be watching this, if you feel like you're having a breakdown, or
Hmm.
you're not, that's the perfect place for your breakthrough.
Yeah.
And yes, Google the Schumann resonance. There's an app. I don't think it costs anything to have the app. I update the Schumann resonance daily, depending on how much I'm struggling with the energies. And there's always
Yeah.
going to be someone out there to guide you with this.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, it's not you.
No.
Like, I can promise it's not you. You're not
No.
losing your mind. And if you are, then we're all losing it together.
I was just going to say, if
Like
if they
workers.
are, we are. The thing is, there's so many tribes of people that are finding each other. You'll find people that maybe you come up on their FYP. You were meant to come up on their FYP because they were meant to see it. Nothing's by accident. Everything's, it's meant to be.
Oh,
So you come
absolute
across
divine
people every day.
intervention, yeah.
I come across people every day. I send people to you. You send people to me. I send people to such and such. I send people to these people. we all work together. You just find the right tribe. You all work in sync together, and
Yeah,
that's
and that's what I love about this community, because there's obviously spirituality, a lot of judgment
yeah,
in that, and then
yeah,
there's light workers, and we're like a whole different community of everyone's got a piece of the puzzle, everyone's
yeah,
got something where there's no judgment. Sometimes I'm too busy judging myself, and it's
yeah,
very open, and we talk, we're real people, and that's what I love about
yeah.
this. I don't know if I'm late to the team or if I'm early to the team or what this is, but
You're in
it's
the team. It
quite
doesn't
beautiful.
matter.
Yeah. And it's quite beautiful. And I'm seeing in with my followers, more and more people are actually quite dependent on my posts, until
Yeah, they
and I
rely
have,
on it. You're absolutely right. Yeah,
it's like their dose of medication or therapy or whatever, just reassurance that you might be
yeah,
feeling this, you might feel that, you might feel this, you're all right. Like we're all feeling it, and I feel truly blessed to be able to do that for people. I really
yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Do you know, you said something really important then, which I don't think you realised how valuable it was. You said, we've all got our own piece of the puzzle.
yeah,
How I see it is, exactly how I see it is, as a puzzle, and we all play our own important role, that
yeah,
when it all comes together and completes this jigsaw or puzzle, whatever you want to call it, that we just bring a light, a working
oh,
light that everybody can take power from. That's how I see it. The thing with spirituality is, and I won't go into this because I've done a TikTok about it before, and
yeah,
I'm due
yeah,
to do another one about it. Especially psychics and mediums, there's a lot of dark, toxic energies that come with that, and that's from people who are
absolutely,
still
yeah.
carrying egos, and I don't believe those people
Who's
work for the light.
essentially bypassed their just like, oh,
Yeah,
that doesn't exist.
yeah,
Yeah,
it is, and that there
yeah,
is a
yeah.
lot of people that still do that, and I think a real light worker and a real spiritual purple person is out to help rather than to
Hmm.
gain from people's.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So
It's
we all come together. I've got you as a friend that you do your bit. I've got Bridget that does Reiki. I've got my light worker friends. I've got Laura. I've got James. I've got, if I haven't named anybody, apologise. But we all bring an attribute
Yeah, and we're all
I can't
learning
do
from
my
each
job.
other.
Yeah, I can't do
Yeah.
my job without you. You can't do your job without me. We all need each other to bring this power, collective power together.
And
Because at the end of the day, what's what we're here for? And that's
it's
what people don't
impossible to
realise.
know it all. It is impossible to know it all. And anyone that says, I know it all, I've got all the answers, don't listen to
Yeah,
them. Everyone has their thing, and everyone
yeah,
has their light with their piece of the
yeah,
puzzle. And this is where I really noticed everyone's coming together. I mean, look at the energy
yeah,
between you and I, and you can feel it. It's
yeah,
so like,
yeah, yeah.
and it's not the Schumann.
We both said, didn't we, that we both felt like we'd known each other for years. And I
Yeah,
feel, it's weird because I almost recognise you. Does that sound
yeah, yeah,
weird?
no, not at all. No, 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 not
That
at
is
all. And that's
so
because
weird.
we're
Yeah.
recognizing each other on a soul
A
level. Our
soul. We
soul is
recognise our
waking up.
souls.
Like our
Yeah.
soul is waking up, especially with all this solar flares and that, and our body's just not quite there yet. And that's why
No.
you'll feel sometimes like you've been run over and reversed, and just finish me off kind of thing. Yeah. And there's strength in numbers. Like when I put up my
Yeah.
post, it's not just to notify others or help others. It's to reassure me as well, like, right, okay, everyone else is feeling like this. We've got this. Let's stabilize the force. We've got
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Do you know my guides right at the beginning of COVID? I think it was Christmas 2019. My guide said to me, hold on to your hat, it's going to be turbulent, but it's going to be okay. And they said to me, strength in numbers makes beacons of light. They're the two things I remember categorically. I heard a bell. I actually heard ding, ling, 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 like it was in the room with me. And I went, hello. And it was a man's voice. It was one of my guys. And it was so deeply given to me. And he went, Melanie, hold on to your hat. It's going to be turbulent, but we're going to be okay. And I went, all right, okay. And then he said, strength in numbers makes beacons of light. And I went, okay, thank you. And that was my message. And I suddenly thought, shit, what's coming?
Mhm.
Why?
Yeah,
What,
and then it hit.
whatever.
Yeah,
And then it hit. So I navigated that really quite comfortably. And I resided with the fact that it's coming, it's okay. And everything that happens in the world is, I'm told it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. So I can
yeah.
only take that as gospel.
And I truly see it as everything is okay. And it doesn't matter what's going to unfold out there. We're not really part of that anymore. And I say to people, watch it play out like
Yeah.
it's a movie. Observe, but do not absorb, you know. And for us, you're saying the pillars of light. I
Oh,
get those visions as well. Like we're all part of this grid, like the
yeah.
what was it, the flower of, oh, I can't remember the name of it, but we're all
Yeah. Yeah.
joined to that grid, and we're all like conduits for this light, because we are the light.
Yeah.
We're bringing in this light.
Yeah.
We're alchemists, so we're alchemizing it, and a lot of we are in isolation, and I believe we're in
Yeah.
isolation because if we were together all the time, I wouldn't be doing the shadow work. I'd just be bouncing
No.
off of you, or I'd be bouncing off another light
Yeah.
worker. Or so if people find that they're in isolation, that is where the gems are.
Yeah.
That is where you'll find
Yeah.
the. It makes so much sense. I get
It
it.
makes so much sense. And do you know what's really funny? Something else you've just said then that is so true. I always, whenever people say to me, "Oh, that's going on in the world and it's scary," and I'm scared, and I go, "Not in my bubble." And you've just
Yeah.
hit the nail on the head. You said it. You said that's not happening in our world. It's not
No.
happening in our world. And the minute that you put yourself into your own protective bubble, my life is lovely. Touch wood, my life is lovely. My mum's
Mhm,
got lung cancer, but my life is lovely.
mhm,
I might have this illness or that illness, but my life is lovely. And I just look,
mhm,
that's, I see the positivity in everything.
mhm,
My mum's a
mhm,
very positive person. My
mhm.
husband, we're all just living in this complete and utter bubble. It's not happening in my bubble. So whatever's going on down the street or whatever's happening on the news,
It's
I
just
don't
not
watch
in
it,
my
so it's not
reality.
happening.
Yes, it's not on my
Not in my
timeline,
reality.
not in my reality.
Because
You know.
no, because in my reality, people smile at each other and they say good morning, and they
Mhm.
make conversations, and everybody's okay, and I don't come across idiotic drivers, because that's what I've created in my reality. I've created that world.
Yes,
That's the
me
way it
too.
is.
And once you live in your own world, your reality for some time, you will notice all the fear that's out. Now, fear is an energy,
Yeah.
that thick,
Yeah.
heavy, tar-like energy, and that is what's been feeding a system for a long time, and that's what's ending. Which is why I believe you're seeing more and more fear, because they're
Yeah.
trying to extract that energy, Harvey, and they're trying to extract that energy from you, and I just won't give it to
Yeah.
them. It's like, no,
Yeah. I'll
fancy
finish off on
princess.
one little note. I'll finish off on one little note, and this will hit the nail on the head. Monsters Inc. when they make the little girl cry.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Absolutely. That says it all. That's
So
a brilliant.
the monster is the news and everything that's going on that we're being scared of, and the
Mhm.
little girl is us being afraid, and they are
Extracting.
harvesting off our energy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
salt baths, grounding, crystals, everything that you need to do. Go do your research, guys. But thank you very, very much for watching us today, Melissa. If they want to find you on on TikTok, how would they do that?
It's
What's your name?
Melissa McDonald 80 for just now. I'll
Yeah.
keep it at that. You'll find
Yeah.
me. You'll find me. I
Yeah.
do the Schumann
Yeah.
resonance. But
I
yeah,
suppose
this has been brilliant.
if you hashtag Schumann, they'll find you anyway. Yes, it has
Yeah.
been brilliant. So stay with me. But thank you very much to everybody that's watching. If you're watching and thinking, "Oh God, this is a bit weird," we don't edit. We literally don't care. We don't care. So it's just play us and sit and have a cup of tea and just
I'm
pretend you're in
hoping
the
we've
same room with
broken it down enough so
us.
it's understandable. How do you
Yeah,
understand? You'll, yeah.
black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching us, and I will catch up with you again soon. My next podcast is about the starseeds. I am with my lovely friend Emma, who is a seventh dimensional Pleiadian starseed, along with myself. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a corker. It's going to be more than one part because there's a lot that comes in with that one. But thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will catch
Thank
up with you
you.
soon. Take care. Thank you, Michelle, Melissa. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.